What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to JJD TV. I'm your host Josh, and we are here for our 5 takeaways of the match we just saw, our final preseason match between Borussia Dortmund and Bologna, a match in which we won 3-0. Very comfortable, very professional. Last little preseason match there before we get into some competitive football. So let's just dive right into our takeaways, and our first takeaway of the day is going to be the obvious one, and it is the formation. We were going to play in the 4-1-2-1-2, a formation that has been rumored to be in fruition with Marco Rosa. We've mostly seen a 4-2-3-1 and a 4-3-3 throughout preseason. Now, given the fact, if you look at the personnel, it doesn't really fit. The fact that we also signed Mullen, we don't have any wingers, it looks like we're going to have to switch up to a different formation. He's known to play the 4-1-2-1-2. There's also potential that a 3-4-1-2 or 3-4-2-1 could really suit this team, and it was on display tonight. Especially in the midfield. We lined up with De Hood as your 6, you had Brandt and you had Gio as your 2 8s, Royce as your 10, and then the duo up front of Tigges and Holland. And honestly, it looked smooth. The passing I thought was very crisp. You had a lot of very technically good players in the middle of the park playing off of each other, and it was very impressive. I thought it looked good. A big if about this formation is getting the fullbacks involved, which we'll get on in our second takeaway. But it was an awesome performance against Bologna, a great one to take into our first game, hopefully in the Pokal, where we may see Daniel Mullen or someone alongside Holland up front. But there's a lot to take away, and this was my first real look at seeing what this formation could look like with this squad of players. And I thought this was the best game we've played in preseason so far. We still had basically the same personnel as the other preseason matches. It's just we looked a lot better. The chemistry was there. You saw the talent. These players who are all central players, Brandt, Gio, Royce, playing in the middle of the park, well, they're going to play better than when you stick them on the side. And huge shout out to that formation. I would like to see it get played. I think it had to be tailored a little bit to be able to actually make it successful at the level of the Bundesliga. Having a player like Witzel or Delaney actually at your 6, having De Hood or Bellingham on one side, and then maybe Brandt on the other, or De Hood and Bellingham, and then Royce as your cam. But we'll have to see. A lot of good things to take away from it as we jump into our second takeaway, which will go off of the formation, and that is the fullbacks. You are going to see how important this formation is for the fullbacks, and I give a shout out to Schultz and Paslak for getting involved. I've always given them a shout out for that because I always think that Schultz likes to get involved. He's quick, he likes running up and down the flanks. Decision making is what hits both of them today, and if I was going to give them a rating, I'd give them both like a 6. Just bang average. Getting themselves in good, promising positions, running down the flanks, playing off the creative players in the middle, finding them on the sides, and then having zero end product, which is kind of story of both of their BBB careers. But going forward with someone like Guerrero coming down that pitch will be very important because he is someone who can actually distribute the ball and can find those runs, and he can even take it himself and finish. But I really noticed that the area of fullbacks for this position will be very important going forward, and hopefully we can have Meunier and Guerrero deliver in it, because I think that'll be very crucial if we want to play this at the Bundesliga level. That was the only real almost not really a negative and not really a positive side. Is just the fact that there's a lot of potential for the fullbacks to get involved. Just they have to be useful doing it, because if they aren't and they don't find the deliveries, it's just kind of a wasted run. Now we're going to go into our third takeaway, still kind of connected to the fullbacks. We're going to mention on Brandt. Now, I've been very harsh on Brandt. You guys know this, but it does look like he's going to stay. So if he's going to stay, you need to play to his strength, and I really am starting to believe that playing a deeper 8 playmaking role is where he's going to fit in this squad, because we know he'll never naturally play as a 10. Royce will always be in front of him, and arguably Gio, but he does bring something different as an 8. He looked really good today. He did. He dropped deep. He was the one playing really kind of alongside De Hood a little bit further down the pitch, while Gio and Royce played up a little bit farther, and he was honestly exceptional. He had a lot of good passes. He created a lot of space, and the movement and the runs I was talking about to Schultz was honestly created from Brandt. When Brandt got the ball, he would drop deep a little bit. He would pick it up from De Hood or one of our center backs. He'd create space. He'd suck some Bologna players in, and then he'd look for that ball, and he would release Schultz on the side. Now, if he was releasing Guerrero, it would be even better. So if we're going to play something like that, I'd be interested to see how Brandt could build some chemistry with the likes of Guerrero and what kind of creation they could have, because the passing was crisp just all in general. And on top of that, the whole midfield did good. I thought Gio had a good game. I thought Brandt had a good game. Royce had a good game. His passing with Holland was exceptional today, and of course De Hood was just something else. I mean, the entire midfield was really good. I just wanted to make sure this takeaway was a little bit focused on Brandt, because I have been harsh on him. But so far, this is my favorite position. That deep playmaking 8 is where I think we're going to find the best from him. And just the passing in general just deserved an A. It really deserved a round of applause because it was very, very crisp and looked really good. Now we're going to go on to our fourth takeaway, and we're going to dive in at the two young center backs. Maloney, Papadopoulos played exceptional today as well. They got the clean sheet. They've created a little bit of chemistry. Maloney, that left footer, Papadopoulos, that right footer. They look really good. They can play off each other. They play with the ball. They're good with it at their feet. Maloney had the odd touch here and there that was a little bit questionable, but all in all, a positive performance. Maloney even got in with a goal, and it's going to be very important to see where this last center back position is going to come from. We know who's going to be there, but I do think one position is up for grabs. One of these two young men can take it. Marco Rose wanted to get a real good look at them today, and they basically did exactly that. I'm hoping to see what's going to happen there. It's going to be curious to see who's going to get it, but Papadopoulos has got a good shout, and we're going to have to wait and see. But classy performance from both of them today, and even had a goal contribution from two U.S. men's national team players today, but two U.S. players in Maloney and Reyna was good to see, which then leads into my fifth and final takeaway. And I mentioned the midfield and the passing, but I am going to focus solely on Dahoud for the last one. Not only to say congratulations to my man, got a new contract, took a bit of a wage cut. It was a strategic signing instead of going the long term to 2025. He took a short-term deal with a pay cut, which helps the team, builds the love, but also gives him an opportunity to figure out if he's going to be a starter in that same Dahoud who got those good minutes at the tail end of last season for Marco Rosa. And then on top of that, he was class. He was my man of the match today. I thought his passing was spot on. I thought he's got that ability to play deeper as a 6. Now, I see him more as an 8. I think at his best, he'd have someone like Witsel behind him alongside Bellingham in like a 4-3-3, 4-1-2-1-2. But today, he's got that ability to drop back as a 6. And you saw it last year when he played in a 4-2-3-1, when he played alongside Bellingham. He was the one who had to drop deep. He has a good defensive awareness about him. And being creative, being that football and technique type player, having that IQ puts him in positions where he can be successful. I saw a ball coming out from Kobel that a little questionable, but Dahoud, very secure with his surroundings, knew exactly what he had to do, took a beautiful touch, had a little shimmy here and there, and was able to release the ball. And when he controls that midfield, he controls the tempo and he controls the type of passing, which was the number one thing I want to take away from this match, is that midfield look organized and that diamond midfield will look good going forward for Marco Rosa. So those were my 5 takeaways today. Really positive performance all around the park. To be honest, I thought Tigges was someone who had a pretty quiet game, even though he scored a goal, which I didn't see because the stream went down. But other than that, not much to take away. Great way to end preseason after a couple questionable games in the last 2, but take some confidence into the first round Pokal match. And yeah, we'll have to see what Marco Rosa does. Hopefully he sticks with the 4-1-2-1-2 with our full squad to take a look at how it'll play. But a lot of good things to take away. Let me know what you guys thought of the takeaways and put your takeaways in the comments. And let's hope for a good match next weekend as we have our first competitive match under Marco Rosa. Thank you guys, and be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you next time.